All right, for those of us joining on our YouTube channel, we do apologize. Had a bit of a technical difficulty, but we got that fixed. Kind of happened right around the same time. If those of you who are joining us wherever you are across the world, thank you so much for joining myself, as long with my partners, Tim Siebold and Kay Myers here in the announcing booth. But, boy, the Tanner Rinker going over. What a crazy turn of events, Tim. Who would have thought the leader would go over as he's fighting for the series title? I know you had a chance to talk to him. He's got to be pretty frustrated, does the young 10 of Tanner Rinker.
Oh, he just it's disappointment, and rightly so. But, luckily he was down there. He said it skipped out, and it didn't take a hard roll.
Okay.
So he's, he's a great guy, and he'll come back, and this won't be the only championship he ever fights for.
Absolutely. And we were talking about this earlier, how when it seems like maybe when you have things like this happen that aren't necessarily the best, it gives you more drive in the offseason to really dial things in and get it ready. And obviously physically he's okay, mentally a bit dejected, I can imagine. But the most important thing is he's out, he's okay, he seemed totally
safe.
fine. And that's the most important point. And talk about safety. How about the 93 of J.B. Jensen? Gets hit with so much force after spinning out, and the Neil Marsh going over the top, sheared the bolts from his roll cage right off the floor. They had to replace the bolts in the roll cage to get that thing back in there. That's a lot of force.
Well, you can always use more hardware in there, and they got it all put back together and replaced what they needed to. So great job with their crew. And JB will have a good starting position because he was running in third place at the time.
Absolutely.
So he's looking, he's shooting for his first podium.
Absolutely, yeah. And they were down here. They had 5-6 people making sure that thing, and it was completely secure back in place. And it's just crazy to see the amount of force and the chaos that ensues here in Texas Trihull. But we got them down at the far end of the course. Let's take a look on the inside of row one. It's the 13 of Grant Schubert, the man in the catbird seat right now, trying to run a series championship and win here at the Battle on the San Jacinto. Then it's 93 of J.B. Jensen on the outside of row one. On the inside of row two, the 69 of Cole Waring. On the outside of row two, the 1 of Corey Walker. On the inside of row three, the 52 of Mason Rinker. On the outside of row three, the 99 of Devin Brown. Then it's the 26 of Briston Sherman, the 42 of Wyatt Zeller, the 12 of Jack Schubert, the 3 of Austin Terry, the young 14-year-old rookie doing a solid job. Then it's the 88 of Josh Wells. Then you remember the 17 of Neil Marsh spinning out down there on the north end of the course. He's all the way back down, way in the starting order. Then the 33 of John Ottinger and the 10 of Tanner Rinker, who's a scratch now here for the second half of this final. How about we crown a champion, Tim? It looks like we're just moments from getting back underway.
Waiting for head referee Doug. There he goes.
He drops the flag. And a great run there down to the inside by the 13 of Grant Schubert. But the 69 of Cole Waring's all over him. Can Waring sneak down tight to the inside? He's pushing hard as he goes side by side with the 93 of J.B. Jensen. And then the 52 of Mason Rinker starting to make a move on the 1 of Corey Walker as we go overhead as they continue to push down the back straightaway. Oh, it is going to absolutely be brutal as they go down there. Look at the wash. Oh, no. Looks like that might be the 1 of Corey Walker and the 12 of Jack Schubert get together, or that was the 52 of Mason Rinker that he got together with down there in that rough turn number 2. But, boy, how about the 69 of Cole Waring just slowly, methodically working his way up. Now he finds himself right up there in second place.
JB half spun it on the turn number 1, and that allowed Mason Rinker to get up there. So now Mason's running in third.
Boy, that would be a fantastic kind of comeuppance here if Mason could get on the podium and maybe do it for his brother here as he continues to push hard down the front straightaway as he's cleared the rest of the group in third, being chased by the 1 of Corey Walker, as well as the 93 of J.B. Jensen. And then there's the 17 of Neil Marsh up there in fifth as he cuts across the wake of the 1 of Corey Walker going down through the north end turn, heading back south here on the San Jacinto. But, boy, it is all Grant Schubert right now as him and the 69 of Cole Waring have really separated themselves from the field.
Corey Walker and Neil just swapped lanes.
Oh, look out, the nose go up. Oh, no, somebody missed a turn there and went way tight to the inside. I can't tell if that was the 7. No, that looks like it's the 93 of J.B. Jensen. He is really pushing it to the limit. That young driver is really learning how squirrely these things can get when you push that Texas Trihull all the way to the limits, especially turning in and outside of the corners.
Neil's working his way up. Fourth place right now, and we still got quite a ways to go. So
Yeah, 12 laps remaining.
Yeah.
So we're not even to the halfway point yet here in this Texas Trihull final. And the real question is going to be, can the 13 at Grant Schubert stay out in front as they start to collect some of those back markers when we get to the late stages? Maybe the 69 of Cole Waring can make a run on him. And can the 17 of Neil Marsh put a nice bow on his season that's been a rough one so far for the man who's won 3 straight championships as he tries to track down the 52 of Mason Rinker. But right now it's all about that young driver down the south end of the course, the 13 of Grant Schubert. Look at how big the waves are down there, Tim. Man, that shallow water with the big draw of these Texas Tri-Hulls really creates some extremely rough water down there on the south end of the course.
Well, you see Grant, he's taken a little bit wider line coming out of turn 2. And that's so the boat doesn't chine in, and it gives them a little easier exit coming out of there in that extreme rough water. But right now, he's out front. What he needs to do is control the pace of the race. Don't do anything. Don't put yourself in a bad position as you come up on the back markers. And he's got a hard-charging Mullet right behind him. And if it comes down to it, he can afford to let Mullet go if he needs to, because he's here to win a championship.
Absolutely. Although they are teammates, and, the Outlaw motto is we race our teammates harder than we race anyone else. So hopefully he can keep that thought in his mind as the 69 of Cole Waring starts to creep up on him. There's the 17 of Neil Marsh that's continuing to push hard. He is sitting up there in 4th position trying to hunt down the 52 of Mason Rinker, but it's all about our leader. Look at the 13 of Grant Schubert. Now the 69 of Cole Waring going down tight to the inside. Is the 13 of Schubert going to pin him? There's the 17 of Neil Marsh pushing hard. He's now looked like he might have moved up into
Mullet's winning the race.
Holy cow, the 69 of Cole Waring might have his opportunity for his first win in his career. The man they call Mullet down in the south end of the course is now out in front, running for Burnshausen Oil, pushing hard in that beautiful purple and silver with 69 on the side. Now look at eye up the 33 of John Ottinger and put a boat between him and the 13 of Grant Schubert. Boy, Tim, I swear, did you have like ESP into the mind of Grant Schubert? Because he got a little squirrely down there, and it seemed like he was thinking exactly what you were. Hey, man, you don't need this for the series championship.
That's right.
Don't go on your head. If you got to let him by, and then maybe go try to catch him again.
That's not a fight he needs to get in the middle of right now. What he needs to do is keep his nose clean, stay up there. He finishes in the top 3 or 4. He's good. He wins the championship.
Yeah, and he's still sitting there in 2nd position as the 69 of Cole Waring looks to put the young rookie Austin Terry a lap down.
Mason Rinker got by him too.
Oh, holy cow. Is something wrong? Oh, no, then Mason Rinker almost spins out down in turn number 1 on the north end of the course, and that gives the 13 of Grant Schubert an opportunity to get back around him down the back straightaway. Is there something going on with the 13 of Grant Schubert, or is it maybe just him being a little bit more cautious? Because, again, like you said, this isn't his fight.
Boat over.
Oh, no, we got a boat over down in the back straightaway. Who is that? Boy, the Texas Tri-Hulls are all over the map here. As this chaos ensues. Let's try to see who that is. And it looks like that is the 52. No, that's the 93 of J.B. Jensen. He went over down there on the back straightaway. Boy, it has been a interesting afternoon for the driver
He's out.
From Colorado. He looks like he's okay. He's out. Look at our divers there instantly. Within 10-15 seconds, they're there in the water, making sure our drivers are okay. Boy, we can't say enough about the sport rescue team. All right, and it looks like we just got word from from one of our race director John Schubert, and it looks like with this rollover on the back straightaway, that is going to wrap up the Texas Trihull final. We do apologize, but due to time constraints, we are past the halfway point, so it is a legal American Powerboat Association race. And ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in his career, he's going to go swimming in the San Jacinto. Your winner here in Texas Trihull, none other than the Burnshausen Oil sponsor, number 69, Cole Waring.
All right. Nothing is as sweet as your first victory.
Oh, absolutely. And he gets to go swimming in the San Jacinto. The real question is Mullet's a bigger guy like me. How many of his teammates are going to take to chuck him off the dock into the water? But what a great run.
All of them?
That's fair. But, hey, you know what? He's worked his butt off. He's struggled mightily at times throughout the season. But what a great run it was for the 69. Cole Waring, as race directors are letting him know, go get that checkered flag, son.
Well, he finished on the podium at Marble Falls, and he has been coming on each, last year, more this year. But it's he's got a little fiberglass hanging off that baby. He earned it.
He gave it everything she had, and it's got to feel good. A little bit weird because of the finish here, but hey, you know what? A victory regardless is a great thing to have. He's got that checkered flag in hand. He puts that thing back in gear. And his teammates, nobody's more excited for him than his teammates as the 13 at Grant Schubert revs up the back of that four-stroke, putting a big spray on it. He's locked up a season series championship. And they finish off with Outlaw on the top of the podium here in Texas Trihull as he makes his way down the backside all the way down to the south end of the course. Those of you down there in the sponsors pavilion on the peninsula down there at the south end of the course, so let me hear you, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Your winner here in Texas Trihull, they call him Mullet, number 69, Mr. Cole Waring. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Putting it on its tail and putting on a show with a checkered flag in hand. You got to imagine that grin is going to be ear to ear for the man they call Mullet, who has been fighting gremlins all year. I think he went through 5 or 6 steering bars in the first 3 or 4 rounds of 2025. They went back to the drawing board. They reassessed how to put the steering components onto these 4-stroke motors on the back of these Texas Trihull. They went over to a hydraulic steering system that protected and covered a lot of those steering bars that were very heavily exposed on the 4-stroke, and that was the ticket for the 69 of Cole Waring. Is look at how excited that driver is. You know it's going to be a good night in the Outlaw pits. They got a season series championship and a battle on the San Jacinto championship all in one afternoon. As he makes his way to the start dock, Tim, boy, that's got to feel really good. You know, he started off the season, I think, I was just saying he lost about 5 or 6 sets of steering bars in the first couple of races. They reassessed it, and boy, once he was able to get the steering outside of yesterday afternoon, he really started to make a lot of moves in the season championship because he was actually able to finish a lot more races, and this is what happens when you can do that.
Heck yeah, let's throw it over to Kay so she can interview him.
All right, well, our pit reporter, Kay Myers, is down with the man they call Mullet, your 2025 Texas Trihull Battle on the San Jacinto winner. Down to you, Kay.
I have got one excited guy here. You got your career started sweeping floors at that JH Performance, and I remember you at Springfield at your very first ride. You came out smiling, but this is the biggest smile I have ever seen on you.
Heck yeah, man. You know, I started my career here, in 23. You know, it was my first race, kind of a last-minute deal. So, man, you're going to hop in a boat and race, and, you know, been doing it ever since. So it feels good to come back and get a win. I'm fired up, man.
Well, I don't know if you noticed there's some boat damage underneath there. I mean, that's bumping boats. You had to bump some boats, had some unfortunate unfinished yesterday, and you know, you have come around. Look at this crowd. You look like you won the World Series. And I think you did. Cole Mullet, you are the champion!
Yeah! Thank you. I just want to say thanks to my sponsors, you know, Mike and John at JH. They're awesome. They've helped me out so much. My family, Burns House and Oil, you know, they're always here. I got my whole family on the bank. They're always here supporting me. It's awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Party over there in your pit area later on this afternoon. Congratulations one more time. Hold that checkered flag up high. You earned it, son.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Texas Trihull Battle on the San Jacinto winner, the number 69 of Cole Waring. Look at everybody's congratulating him. Look at his teammate Grant. They got a season championship and a battle on the San Jacinto. The Outlaws are excited, and they are going to have one heck of a night in the pits, but it'll be even better if their fellow teammate who just gave him a big hug, the 01 of Dustin Terry, can come out on the water here in just a little bit and run his way to a second championship in 2 years. Boy, Tim, I got to tell you, Texas Trihulls never disappoint with the chaos and carnage on the course.
Chaos is the main word right there. You know, they're in and out, and the starter did a great job that time. They took them down a little bit, so that way they would have a little bit smoother time in this corner. But where you have it a little smoother on one end, it gets rougher on the other end. So,
absolutely.
You know, that was some smooth driving by Cole, and he deserves it. He's been inching his way up. He's been doing better. He gets consistency, and pays off at the final race of the year.
Absolutely, yeah. The 69 of Cole Waring was able to pull off a victory here at the final round of 2025. And why was he able to do that? Well, we'll take a look at what happened earlier on here in our main event in Texas Trihull when the Tenatana Rinker was leading here on lap number 8. As he makes his way down the back straightaway, you'll see him out there in front. That's the 13 of Grant Schubert in the bottom left corner. He goes down into turn number 2 on the south end of the course. And he just goes over, just hooked a big hole. Looked like it was left there by one of the other drivers. Let's kind of spin that back a little bit if we can and take a look at that one more time. He got out real quick. So impressed by that by the Tenatana Rinker. But, Tim, give us a little bit of insight of what happened down here.
Bottom left, he's trying to go inside, so he's slowing down there. Looks like Neil in front of him. He falls off the outside of the whitewater, and when it does, it shines in on the outside and rolls right over. That's just a tough way to go. And once you get on that, outside the whitewater like that, and the back right digs in, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's that, the waves have a backside, and that's where that problem is. It looks like there's just a giant hole there that boat just fell right into right there. Boom.
Well, he was trying to go to the inside of that, which is what they do in Trihull, and kind of use that for a berm, but he fell off the backside, and when he did, that right rear outside corner dug in, and it just corkscrewed over.
And as you know, if the right side of your boat makes it over the backside, over the peak of that wake, it's not a good thing in any form of boat racing.
No, it isn't. It isn't. And thank goodness all our guys, JB, Tanner, they're all in good shape, and they'll come back to fight another day.
Absolutely, yeah. JB looked like he was doing pretty good. He was, smiling considering the fact that he just went over. But it's a learning lesson. This happens when you're a young driver. You get really excited. You're up there in one of those top positions. You're going to end up possibly on the podium. And it's those tiny little moments where you just lapse in judgment and you end up upside down like we saw the 93 of JB Jensen and the Tenatana Rinker.
You got to remember, you have I'd like to say a split second, but it's less than that to make those decisions.
Right, yeah, they are definitely not easy decisions to make, and that is why you don't see rookies just come out here, hop in a boat, and find themselves on the podium. It takes a lot of trials and tribulations and learning to ensure that you can know how to react in that millisecond moment when you have to make those hard decisions.
Well, like we were talking earlier, that's why you've got to think ahead when you're setting someone up or even coming in to lap somebody, and you have got to not, you can't put yourself in a bad position.
Right.
And that really wasn't. That was, he just happened to fall off the backside of the wave, and when it did, it caught the outside chine and rolled right over.
Yeah, it's, sometimes bad luck comes into any form of racing, and it was just a bit of bad luck for the Tenatana Rinker. But he'll live to fight another day. He's going to be working hard this offseason, you got to imagine, to get that boat back ready to go for 2026, because everybody is going to have to catch the man from Richmond. And as he secures his second season championship, and the belt will be passed from that man right there, the 17 of Neil Marsh, back to the 13 of Grant Schubert. But how about that? Those two drivers have shared that belt over the last 4 years, and I can imagine if either of them have anything to say about it, they'll be the only two ones that share it for the next 4 years.
That's right. So we've got a lot of young talent in there, and the class is healthy, so we look forward to what it's going to bring for us next year.
Absolutely, and it seems like every year we end up picking up one or two more people that were like, hey, man, I went to a race, I saw those, I race, like Andy Miller, who had to take a step away this year due to some involvement in his kids racing in their own right, but Andy came to a race, saw him, and was like, you know what, I got to get in that, and it seems like it's just one of those fan favorite things that they want to get into it, and the great thing about Texas Trihull is the barrier to entry is a lot lower than some of the other classes, and it's a great way to get your foot in the door in powerboat racing.
It is. You can get into Trihull racing for, I think it's probably around the 25 mark.
Yeah, and that's if everything's brand new, and there's some good learning boats out there.
Brand new, right? And a lot of our participants in the Trihull class come from friends of racers. So, they could be a crew guy. And they want to get involved in racing. They want to, get their feet wet, so to speak. And they come in, and that's a great class to start.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember back in 2019, the last year we ran at the Bay City River or in Bay City, Michigan. Neil Marsh was telling me, a former crew member for Kevin Ladd, back in the SST 120 days in the 1990s and early 2000s. And they said, hey, Neil, we got this Texas Trihull boat. We'd like you want to give it a whirl? And he got inside there, and that was it. He was hooked from there on out. He's now he's got 3 series titles under his belts. And if it wasn't for John Schubert giving him a call and having a boat for him to race in Bay City, Michigan, who knows where he would be here in 2025. But as it were, he has a 3-time series championship. I think he finished second or third in points here in 2025. Not a bad run so far for a guy who got offered a ride at his hometown race in Bay City 6 years ago.
That's right. I remember when that happened. So, and it's not that long ago.
No, it wasn't. But
it goes to show you put the work in.
Absolutely.
You can get the results. And
absolutely.
That's what Neil does.
And speaking of the man putting the work in and trying to get the results for the second year in a row, that's the man going in the water right now that you see on the screen. That is the 01 of Dustin Terry, that Turtle Box sponsored entry here for the final round. He's sitting in the catbird seat. I found out 17 points separate him and the 52 of Chris Rinker. You get 150 points for the final. So if Chris Rinker can come out early, he's going to make it a lot more difficult for that driver to retain his title. But all he's got to do is find a way to get the 52 of Chris Rinker in his rearview mirrors, and he might just cement himself in history as a back-to-back champion, because, Tim, that is not an easy thing to do.
It's not easy to go back-to-back. And, 17 points is it's not a mountain.
No, it's not.
It does give you comfort level if you're 17 points up.
Absolutely. So I did the math. If Rinker can win, and if Terry finishes second, he's still by the narrowest of margins will hang on to the title. But if he ends up in third and Rinker wins, he's going to be our new champion. And I know that's something that the 52 of Chris Rinker has been so close to tasting for so many years. Him and the 17 of Dylan Anderson have both been right there. But who knows what's going to happen. We got to run our 17 minutes plus 1 lap around this 4-pin course here on the San Jacinto to find out who's going to be called the 2025 Series champion. And could you ask for anything better?
Oh, no. It all comes down to the final race, the final heat of the season. I mean, how much better is that?
Absolutely. I mean, I can imagine you look back at all the series and national championships and things you won in your career. I can imagine some of the most memorable are those ones where you pulled it off on the final race of the season and had somebody all over you, and you guys were just pushing hard to fight for the title, and coming out on top in such a narrow margin of victory. It's got to have just a little extra good feeling to it.
So what did you say? There's 17 points difference?
Correct.
17 points. So Dustin, if Chris wins, Dustin's got to get third or better.
It's going to be a doozy out there. You know, he's definitely sitting in that position that's probably a little less stressful. He's got a little less on his plate than the 52 of Chris Rinker, but that's what that consistency shows.
He's got to get second.
Yeah.
He's got to get second.
If Rinker wins, Dustin has to get second. So all he cares about is getting around Rinker somehow off that start, because if Rinker can get out in front, he's going to drive the one of Dustin Terry all over the course.
Let's look at let's see the starting order. We got to see how this is going to play out here.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see. There's the 13 of Grant Schubert. He's going into the water in that Captain Mark sponsored entry. He was your winner from qualifying heat number 3. And so he moved himself up quite a bit on the start dock. He just won a series championship in Texas Trihull. He wiped the sweat off his brow, got back in the cockpit of his Formula One, and he's going to do another 17 minutes plus 1 lap. The Ironman from Richmond, Texas, is looking to try to make his mark in Formula One here in 2025. Maybe not necessarily a season championship, but a high note he could possibly end his season on here at the 2025 Battle on the San Jacinto. Okay.
For over 3 decades, one engine ruled the waters. The shriek of the Mercury 2.5-liter V6 two-stroke became the soundtrack of speed, precision, and dominance. From dot to podium, the two-stroke was king. But time waits for no legend. In 2025, the tides are shifting. Enter the Mercury APX 250, a 4.6-liter V8 four-stroke powerhouse built for a new era of dominance. With a series victory in 2024, is change already racing ahead? Will the veteran two-stroke reclaim its crown? Or is this the dawn of a new dynasty? As the battle at the top evolves, the action across the series is just as fierce. From the Texas Trihulls, where raw grit meets unpredictable water warfare, to the Formula Lights, where the next generation of champions looks to cut their teeth. And of course, the Formula Ones, 120-mile-an-hour ballet of precision and nerve, where the boats fly, the stakes are high, and only the bold survive. This is more than a championship. It's a revolution on water. This is the 2025 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
We are here on the San Jacinto River, where the Baytown Boat Club hosts the final race of the 2025 F1 Powerboat Championship. In our Texas Tri-Hulls, we have a tight battle. Grant Schubert is leading by 59 points. Right behind him is Tanner Rinker, who's won 3 out of the last 4 races. Our 3-time national champion, Neil Marsh, in the number 17, is sitting right behind them, with only 70 points dividing our top 3 drivers. In our Formula Lights, the battle continues between Mark Schmierbach, the number 35, and Shelby Love of Clover Construction, number 24. There's only 58 points dividing the two. Weekend after weekend, we see them trade podium positions, but Shelby must be perfect to be able to take that crown. But Mark Schmierbach's not going to give it up easy. In our premier class of the Formula Ones, our top 4 drivers are only separated by 72 points. Dustin Terry has his eye on back-to-back high-point championships here in the F1 Series. Chris Raker is a man on a mission in his Mastercraft-sponsored boat. Dylan Anderson in the number 17 Anderson Marine is charging hard late into this season. Jeremiah Mayo in the number 8 Snap-on is poised to be the spoiler as the dark horse. This is a high-pressure showdown. It's a winner-take-all for the final of our F1 Powerboat Championship. The stage is set, and the river is waiting. The championship will be decided right here on the San Jacinto River, because in the Formula One Powerboat Championship, it all comes down to this.
And welcome to the final round of the 2025 season here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. It's the battle on the San Jacinto. Thomas Yarbrough, they call me the Noise of the North, along with my new radio broadcast partner, series director Tim Siebold, jumping on the mic here for the final 2 rounds of 2025. Boy, Tim, we have got a doozy of a finish here, as we are just now 17 points after qualifying here at the final round, until we crown a champion here for 2025 in the Formula One class.
You know, when we started back in May, everybody had a blank sheet. Now it comes down to the final race, the final heat, to decide the champion.
Absolutely, and that's going to come up right after this. All right, now we see the 24 of Spencer Love and that Incubex machine. He's getting loaded onto the water. We're getting the last few boats in the water before we crown a champion here in 2025. Tim, I don't know if things have ever been closer here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, and I know that you and your partner, John Schubert, have worked tirelessly to make sure that moments like this are exactly what showcases who the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series is.
When you compete in motorsports, you want a shot at the title at the last race. You want to be the guy that can get it done. Now, whether you're first, second, in this case, they've got to be, first and second or second and first. it doesn't matter. Only one guy's going to walk away with the hardware.
Absolutely, and it's going to be an absolute doozy of a battle here on the San Jacinto River. The wind has been moving all day. Turns 3 and 4 down at the south end of the course have been extremely rough all afternoon. That's not going to change here in the Formula One final, and that's right. It's come down to really a two-horse race between the 52 of Chris Rinker and the 01 of Dustin Terry. Can the man from Houma, Louisiana, go back-to-back, or will the 52 of Chris Rinker finally get off that second and third place spot and find himself on the top spot of the podium and bring some great hardware back to Spring, Texas for the Rinker Racing Boat World family?
Well, we've got to have a good start. No matter what happens, we've got to have a good start because that sets up the rest of it. You know, I've been in these situations before, and you play the scenarios out in your head, and you think it's going to go this way or this way, and then the start happens, and that whole game plan goes out the window. So they're going to line up here. They're going to be intense. They're going to be focused, and they're going to want the best start they can have, and then they go from there.
Absolutely. When we had a chance to look into the minds of our top 4 drivers and what they're doing to try to secure a season championship here at the final round of 2025.
All season long, every twist, comeback, and charge has built to this, the ultimate showdown, where the 2025 Formula One Powerboat Championship will be decided right here at the Battle of the San Jacinto. Dylan Anderson has been on a tear, winning in Shreveport, Marble Falls, and at the last round in Windsor, Colorado. A round 1 technical infraction cost him big early, but he's clawed his way back to 4th in points, just 72 out of the lead.
So the way the season started off really good and then really bad. We won the first race of the year and then accidentally made a mistake on our head gaskets and got disqualified from that race. A total accident. I just thought blue meant blue and it wasn't blue. So anyway, we lost that race. Won the next race in Shreveport, 3rd place in Alton, won the next race in Marble Falls, won the next race in Colorado. So we're giving it our best shot to scrap back at the points lead, but it's still a long way to go. So we'll do what we can, get as many wins this season as we can and see what happens with points.
Jeremiah Mayo has quietly kept himself in the title fight. Despite no wins this season, his unmistakable bright orange and white rocket on the water has stayed consistent. He's only 39 points out. If he can finally snag that checkered flag and keep the front runners behind him, Mayo could steal his first Formula One Powerboat Championship title.
We're not in a bad position. We are in 3rd. We did lead for a race, dropped to 2nd, now we're in 3rd. So we're looking to jump back up there. I mean, there's 30-something points that separate us to 1st and 30-something points that separate us to 4th. So as long as we stay in the hunt, I think that's expectations of the team. It's a fight. It's a dog fight out there with all 5 of us up there. You never know what somebody's going to do. You never know what tricks they got up their sleeve. So it's a fierce game.
Chris Rinker's 2025 season has been a comeback story in motion. After stepping out in Port Neches for a family emergency and losing crucial points, he's fought back with a win and 2 runner-up finishes to rejoin the title hunt.
As far as the season goes, it's been a great season for us. I mean, we've got a top podium. We've done really well throughout all the races. The first race of the year, we obviously had a little bit of a snafu with my dad's situation. And as far as the Rinker family, we're fighters, you know. We didn't take that as a loss. We took it as a challenge. We are very, very close in points in this championship, and we've got a chance, and you got to earn it. I mean, it's not something you can just write a check and get out there and be competitive. It takes time, experience, trial and error, failure. All that is a part of, you know, being able to be competitive at the top. I think we've got a great chance this weekend.
Can a defending champion really fly under the radar? Dustin Terry just proved it. After capturing the 2024 title with 1 victory and rock-solid consistency, he's once again on the verge of history. A victory here at Battle on the San Jacinto would make it back-to-back championships for the driver out of Houma, Louisiana. But with only 11 points separating him from 2nd, Terry will need to be flawless if he wants to cement his legacy as a 2-time Formula One Powerboat Championship Series champion.
I couldn't be happier. I'm on the top right now. Wasn't expecting it. Been a real busy guy at home with work, and so very fortunate that my team has been able to keep everything running for me, and I lost the points lead for a race and was able to get it back, so I'm thrilled with the way the season's going no matter what happens this weekend. Man, it's really cool that we have this many guys that are this close to the top, and you never know with each one of these races. So I think the fact that this is the caliber of guys that I'm competing against is fantastic to me. It would be one thing to go to another race and only be battling against one good guy or two good guys. Instead, we got 6 or 7, and guys are just getting faster and faster every weekend. So to me, that's the funnest part about it, is that no matter where you're at on the course, you're battling against somebody who could be winning the race. So I'm thrilled with the level of competition we have. It makes the trophy worth it.
Hey, welcome back, race fans. Here from the booth, Thomas Yarbrough, along with the decorated man that runs this Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, Tim Siebold. Tim, I am super excited. I can imagine you are as well, as we are set to crown a champion here in Formula One, and probably the most competitive season we have seen to date here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
It is, because every year we have been building the drivers. The drivers gain experience. We have new drivers, veterans. We've got new equipment, safer equipment. So we've got the 2-stroke, the 4-stroke. So there's a lot of variables, and it comes down, and everybody talks about the parity between the engine platforms. So we have a 2-stroke 2.5 Mercury. We've got the Apex 250. Guess what? Down to the championship, very last race.
One against the other. Old school versus the future of Formula One powerboat racing. Who's going to come out on top? And regardless of who does, it's going to be one heck of a dogfight here on the San Jacinto River.
It really is. And we have our competitors that are racing for the championship starting up front.
Absolutely. As we've got most of our drivers lined up here for this final race of the 2025 season, let's take a look at our starting lineup here for this final race of 2025. The man who finished 2024 atop the podium and was your series champion starts the final race of 2025 in the same exact spot. On pole here for our Formula One main event at the Battle on the San Jacinto, the number 1 of Dustin Terry.
Dylan Anderson has been strong all year long, and he comes in at number 2.
Right behind him is the man 17 points behind our pole sitter. They call him the real deal, the man from Spring, Texas, running for Evolution Markets. Mastercraft Boats and Rinker Boat World. Can he get off the dock like a rocket and get around the 1 of Dustin Terry all the way to a title? It's going to be a tall order, but coming third off the dock, the 52 of Chris Rinker.
Number 4, Jeremiah Mayo, which is our top 4 in the championship, start top 4 in the race. He's got that Ray Bob Spices, and he's starting up in the 4th position, and anything can happen.
Absolutely. Behind him, the 24 Spencer Love coming 5th off the start dock. Then it's the 13 of Grant Schubert in that Captain Marks machine coming 6th. Then the 29 of Jared Jensen, 7th off the start pontoon, followed by our Canadian driver, the 98 of Aiden Benton. And then it's the 99 of Travis Yates in that Chartreuse in black JH Performance machine. And rounding out our field here as we wrap up the 2025 season, running for Fleming Manufacturing, the number 9 of Johnny Fleming. Well, that's going to wrap up our starting grid here. We're just moments away from getting under racing conditions here at the final round of 2025. Tim, and do I feel a breeze picking up out there on the San Jacinto? That's going to add a whole nother layer. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, coming up on the 1-minute gun. 1 minute drivers, 1 minute. Can the 1 of Dustin Terry go back-to-back and secure his spot in history as a back-to-back winner here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will the 17 of Dylan Anderson wrap up his season on a high note with 3 wins in 4 races in that machine? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or will it be the 52 of Chris Rinker? Not only is he fighting for a win here at the Battle on the San Jacinto, he's looking to try to capture his first series title. 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Or could it be the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, the dark horse, sitting 4th off the dock? Or the 24 of Spencer Love? Let's crown a champion here at the San Jacinto and find out who's going to be your 2025 series champion of Formula One. 20 seconds, drivers, you're under starters order. The flag is up. He drops the flag, and they come roaring to life. Great jump there by the 52 of Rinker. But the 1 of Dustin Terry's got that inside line. Look at all 4 boats just perfectly in a row, side by side by side by side, coming down to the far end of the course. Who's going to come out in front? And it looks like the 1 of Dustin Terry. Oh, no. Oh, no, we got a wreck down there at the far end of the course. Oh, no, that's the 52 of Chris Rinker. The 52 of Chris Rinker goes over
52,
down in.
I think Jeremiah Mayo and Chris got together over there. Chris
Oh,
didn't
no.
go over, but I think he spun it out.
Oh, boy. There was just such a wall of water down there, Tim. I don't know what happened. How frustrating it has got to be. Boy, it has been a rough Sunday for Rinker Racing here on the San Jacinto.
Wow, you hate for it to end in the first corner like that. Let's see what they got going on. Chris is out of the boat.
It looks like it's starting to list a little bit to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that means there's probably some damage on the back right. Sponson starting to take on water. He has got to be dejected climbing out of the cockpit of that Formula One, sitting on the nose. I think he knows his afternoon is done.
Jared's hooking them up quick so we can try and get that boat back to the ramp, so that way it doesn't go all the way down and cause all the problems that salt water can cause.
Oh, it looks like he got together with the 29 at Jared Jensen. Holy
Jared
cow,
Jensen.
the whole picker fork off the right
pickle
side.
fork. Keep going.
There we go. Somebody finally got a word to him on the radio. Keep moving, young man. You got a front right pickle fork that's completely gone. That Island Lake Marine machine looks like that may have been who got together with the 52 of Chris Rinker. Is now they're trying to get him onto the trailer and hopefully try to get some of that water drained out. Boy, that boat is listing heavily to the right-hand side, and he's got a lot of damage on that sponson. You knew as soon as he started to lay off the throttle that was a bad move by the 29 of Jared Jensen. The question is can he get the thing to the trailer? Can they get that thing capped off and maybe get him back out to the final?
Trailer in.
Well, not necessarily his trailer, but that's the great thing
trailer,
about
right.
That's the great thing. Every driver sees something like that happen, and they immediately are going to get a boat and a trailer into the water, and it looks like he's taking the gloves off. Boy, we lost 2 drivers here in the opening turn, and that's what sometimes can happen when you're pushing it to the limit like these drivers are here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
Chris is coming in on the rescue boat. Jared's actually on Chris's trailer. And they'll have to put Chris's boat on Jared's trailer.
Boy, that's got to be frustrating for both those drivers. We couldn't see what happened down there in the wall of water that sprayed up. We might have a replay. I don't know. We're going to have to check with our great partners at Live Race Media to see if we've got any action of what happened down there. But, boy, it was just a wall of water, and the chaos ensued here at the opening lap of the Formula One final. And there you see that 52 Evolution Markets Rinker Boat World Mastercraft machine listing to the left and sinking slowly, not quickly, but slowly. And boy, for the boat there in the front, you look at the damage on the 29, Jared Jensen, that whole front right pickle fork torn off. What do you think could have caused that? I know you thought the 52 Rinker might have spun out. Is that where, do you think he connected with him on the spin?
Well, that's on the right-hand side of Jared's boat. And Chris started on the left side of him, so yeah. I don't know if that came from his or not.
Unless if he spun out and then Rinker, and then Jensen may have tagged the corner of him after he spun out down there. But you can imagine Rinker was trying to turn that boat off the dock there at the opening start.
They were so even going to the first turn. I mean, on the run to the first turn, they were 4 abreast.
Absolutely, and that's, in tunnel boat racing, that's a difficult thing to do. Normally you see that staggered that happens because it's so hard for the other boats to get that because they don't have the true clean water like the pole sitter does. But we're going to send it down to our pit reporter, Kay Myers, and she's got a little bit more information on all the chaos going down there here in the Formula One class.
It's just chaos and craziness going on here at the Highlands. And we watched as Jensen came flying in, and I turned around. First thing he wanted to know was Chris okay? Second thing he said, hey, we got to talk about this. He says, I don't have time. I'm going to grab my backup boat and bring it back out. So we're going to see if he's going to have time to do that. So Jared Jensen, thank goodness, brought a backup boat because his plan is to go grab that backup boat and get back out here on the course.
All right, well, the question is are they going to do that with both the 52 of Chris Rinker as well as the 29 of Jared Jensen? Can they both make it out? Are they both sprinting to the pits? While we got a little bit of a break here, we're going to bring out our 50-50 raffle. For those of you who purchased the 50-50 raffle ticket here at the Baytown Boat Club, there are a pile of tickets in there. Holy cow, Dewey and the boys have been working hard here this weekend. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you here locally at the Baytown Boat Club, pull out your raffle tickets as we are going to announce our 50-50 raffle winner. We got $1,140. That's $570 to the winner and $570 to the Baytown Boat Club. As we open it up, let's see what happens. He's going to pull out that 50-50. Ooh, he's going to let me do it. Ooh, we're going to get way down in there. I'm going to dig way down to the middle. All right. Please make your way down here to the judges' stand for the winner. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Ticket number. Can you read that off for me? What's the number on there? I don't have my glasses on. Oh, he doesn't want to do it. Okay, I'll see here. I'll one-eye it. Ticket number 44355544. Ticket number 44355544. Please make your way down to the judges' stand. I've got $570. That's all yours here from the 50-50 raffle here at the Baytown Boat Club in Highlands, Texas for the final round of the 2025 season. A big tip of the cap to the great folks at the Baytown Boat Club. They put in a lot of work to make this race happen here in 2025. They've been a great partner for many, many years. This is really where the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series was birthed right here. It's the testing ground for a lot of our drivers, and what a fantastic run it was here on the San Jacinto. All right, again, ticket number 4435544. We're going to send it down to Kay Myers as she's got more on the chaos here in Formula One.
Continues. I just went over and talked to the Rinker crew. I said, hey, that is a big hole in the boat. And they said, thank goodness we brought spares because they're going to grab their spare boat as well. So we're going to have two of our drivers who were just involved in that accident running back to the pits to come back out with spare boats. So we're going to be seeing Jensen and Rinker come back out on the course with a big redemption, I have a feeling.
All right, well, hopefully the rest of these drivers can hustle and quickly get back in to the cockpits of their backup boats. But again, the person who has ticket number 4435544, please come down and claim your prize. Again, ticket number 4435544. You better come down here quickly, otherwise I might just put the money in my pocket. I wouldn't mind $570 after a hard weekend in the hot sun. Again, ticket number 4435544. Come on down here just to the right of the boat ramp and claim your prize here for the 50-50 raffle. But boy, what a crazy day it has been. There's Scary Jerry Rinker chatting with the 12 of Shelby Love and our fantastic chaplain, Lori Vidal. Check out Legacy Powerboat Ministries. They have been a partner of ours for many, many years here in tunnel boat racing, over 30 years, providing emotional support for all our drivers and really being there to be a fantastic rock for all of the folks that run here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, from crews to staff, racers themselves. Lori Vidal and his wife Jan have been a fantastic part of our series here in 2025, and we're so grateful that they can be with us every race. Again, those of you pull out your 50-50 raffle tickets, 4435544, ticket number 4435544. Again, I will have this down here at the judges' stand till the end of racing today. So make your way down here. I may hold on to it during the award ceremony to get you your money then. But for now, I'll hang on to it so it's in a safe place as we let the 52 a Rinker and the 29 a Jensen hustle to get into those backup boats as we can try to continue the final here at the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. All right, there's the 52 of Chris Rinker, the boat they call Pearl. You can see right there that big damage on the right middle sponson and the right front. It looks like something happened down there. I don't know if when he spun out, if he got tagged by the 29 of Jared Jensen, because that looks like a pretty big puncture hole. Like it was the front of the one boat got punctured right into the 52 of Chris Rinker, but that is some pretty gnarly damage on the side of that carbon fiber Moore design Formula One. That boat built in France, and that boat has seen some hefty damage in its career, but hopefully that's fixable here stateside. They don't have to put it back into a container and ship it back over to France to get rebuilt by David Moore. But the real question is can these two drivers in enough time get into those backup boats and get those boats down here on the water so they can compete again for this main event here at the final round of 2025, the battle on the San Jacinto. Oh, never mind. All right, well, it sounds like the 52 of Chris Rinker and potentially the 29 of Jared Jensen. Yeah, here comes the 52 of Chris Rinker. They're making their way down to the boat dock as they got their backup boat going on the water. That's going to put him to the back of the pack, so the task just got taller for the man from Spring, Texas. But at least it gives him an opportunity to fight for the title one more time here as they try to get that thing dialed in and everything swapped over here in just a quick moment's time to try to get that boat back out on the water here to finish this Formula One main event here at the battle on the San Jacinto. Look at the teams feverishly working to check out the boat and make sure they get all the components, transponders, and everything swapped over from one boat to the other and try to get that thing back out on the water. This is why drivers have backup boats when they're in the hunt for the title fight. There's the driver, the 52 of Chris Rinker. He's drinking some water, getting rehydrated. They're going to get him back into that boat, that Mastercraft-sponsored machine. His wife's giving him best wishes, giving him a kiss, see if he can't try to hunt down the one of Dustin Terry, who's going to start on the pole. Let's take a look at a replay now that we've got on our YouTube live stream of the start of this F1 final and see what happened as they take off from the dock there. Look at four boats all side by side. Now you see the 29 of Jared Jensen. He's going way wide to the outside there in six. Now he bends, and they start closing down. Oh, it looks like the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo and the 52 of Rinker spin out, and the 29 of Jensen just cannot see the 52 of Rinker and punches him right on the back right corner of that deck. Boy, that's got to be frustrating. Again, we'll take a look at it from that same angle. They take off. Now, the 29 of Jared Jensen's there in sixth. The 52 of Rinker there is in third, and the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo in fourth. So they go flying down to the far end of the course. They set. And the 52 of Chris Rinker just can't hold it too tight. He flips the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo around, and then by a nose, he gets out of the way, and bang, right there, the 29 of Jared Jensen smokes the back right corner of that 52 Evolution Markets Mastercraft-sponsored entry. That has got to be frustrating for the 52 of Chris Rinker and the 29 of Jared Jensen. It was no fault of his own. He was fighting for position, trying to get in and out of that corner. He went through a wall of water, and all he saw when he came out behind that wall of water was a bright yellow number 52 with nowhere to go. The surprise of all of this is the fact that the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo came out unscathed from that side-by-side spin-out with the 52 of Chris Rinker. They were so close that there wasn't any real violence of those two boats touching. They just kind of got together, and it spun them both out down there in the corner as the 52 of Chris Rinker was trying to turn hard and just wasn't able to get it cranked around. Boy, Tim, it looks like, I know you had to run off for a quick second there. It looks like the 52 of Chris Rinker and the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo were the ones who spun out, and then Jared Jensen coming in, all that wash from those two spinning out together, he had nowhere to go. He barely missed the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo and then ran right into the back right side of the 52 of Chris Rinker. That has got to be frustrating.
You know, it was a racing accident. There was nowhere to go. You couldn't see well, and you're on top of all the whitewater.
Yeah, absolutely. So the boat doesn't grab nearly as well. So trying to make a run again here. Let's take it a third replay there. Get your take on these top four boats.
So they're all in there. They're turning, and Chris doesn't know where to get. You know, he can't see. Jeremiah is holding his line. It's just a racing accident, nowhere to go. Jared's trying to, avoid everybody, and he collects Chris.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for both of them. I mean, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, he's okay. It looks like he's fine. There's no damage on the side of the number 8 Ray Bob's machine. And, boy, if the 29 of Jared Jensen, as he's jumping into his backup boat, the Green Monster with Island Lake Marine on the side, he's got to feel terrible. Not only did he damage his boat, but he also damaged Chris' boat. But he had nowhere to go, and he couldn't see what was happening. He was just trying to hold on to his line and get through the corner cleanly.
That's right. That's right. When you have all the spray and you're a half boat length behind, you can't see. So that's why starting position is so crucial in this.
Absolutely. Now, the benefit is the 52 of Rinker and the 29 of Jared Jensen, because we hadn't even completed one lap, are going to be on the lead lap, but they're both going to get shuffled to the back of the start. So you're going to see the 52 of Chris Rinker in 9th and the 29 of Jared Jensen starting 10th in the restart, and that's got to be huge for the 1 of Dustin Terry.
Well, let's just clarify. The reason that the 52 and the 29 are starting in the last 2 positions is only because they're switching boats.
Absolutely.
So it's not that anyone was penalized or anything like that, because there's no fault. So, both these guys have great teams, and everybody got checked out. They're all doing good, so they're jumping in their backup boat, and we're going to go after it again.
Absolutely, and the tricky part there is, right, it's your backup boat for a reason. There was a reason why Chris chose the boat he did to run this weekend, same with the 29 of Jared Jensen, and now they've got to hope that the setup, the weight, and everything in that backup boat is as even as it can be to their primary boat to hopefully get the same performance out of it here, especially for the 52 of Chris Rinker, as he's got to run through the field to try to figure out a way to win a season championship here in Formula One.
Chris has got his head on his shoulders. He's calmed down. He's as calm could be. I just talked to him, so it's all good. He's going to go out there, and guess what? You just do the best job you can, and where it's all going to lay out at the end is where it's going to lay out.
Absolutely. Like you've said all weekend long, all Chris can do from here on out is just race his own race. He can't worry about anybody else. He can't worry about things that have happened and already transpired, because there's nothing he can do about them. He's just got to go out there, be laser focused, lock in, and try to run down the rest of the field here and try to finish as high as he can. And hopefully it'll come out for him at the end.
That's right. And he's got a good team behind him. And it's, complete family support on both Chris's side and Jared's side, so it's those guys will be fine.
Absolutely, and a little bit more work to do here to start the off season than they expected to, possibly going into this final event here in 2025. But nonetheless, they're both going to be back out on the water, and it looks like we're just waiting for the 29 of Jared Jensen to get that boat back on the water. He's strapped in. Again, I'm going to make one more announcement. Again, our 50-50 raffle winner. If you have not claimed your ticket by the award ceremony, we will draw a new winner. Again, attention here at the Baytown Boat Club. Ticket number 443-5544. Ticket number 443-5544. Man, that's a lot of 5s and 4s. Again, winning 50-50 raffle ticket, $570. Ticket number 443-5544. So those of you who are here, make sure you stay for the award ceremony, because if this hasn't been claimed, you could also watch an awesome award ceremony and put $570 in your pocket here. And it looks like, oh no, the 24 of Spencer Love is out of the boat. What happened to Spencer Love? Looks like he is off the race course. No problem at all. But again, ticket number 443-5544. You are the 50-50 raffle winner. And boy, Tim, I didn't even notice there. It looks like the 24 of Spencer Love has the boat on the trailer. He's not even going to be able to compete here in the Formula One final. What happened to the driver from Santa Rosa Valley, California? He has got to have it's going to be a frustrating day driving all the way from California and not even be able to compete in the final race of 2025.
Well, it is, and I'm not sure what problem that came up with the number 24 and it's preventing him from going out there, but I'm sure it's something they can't fix easily, and he's going to sit this one out and watch it.
It's kind of been that's kind of how the year's been for the 24 of Spencer Love, our 2022 Formula One Powerboat Series champion. Or 2023. I apologize, I don't have my computer in front of me, so one of the two. But, I mean, he's a solid top performer, but here in 2025, it just hasn't been the year for the man from California.
Well, he's got a lot on his plate with everybody that races out of his camp. So, that it takes his focus off of his Formula One program a little bit.
For sure.
And you know what, though? They're doing it as a family, and they enjoy it. So that's probably a bigger upside than winning races.
Oh, absolutely. And this is just the first year that they've really, the second year that they've really had this big contingency. It used to be just him. They had a two-boat Formula One team last year. They went down and shifted more to the younger generations and to bring them up. And, he'll be back on top again. Don't get it twisted for a minute. The 24 of Spencer Love is an absolute competitor on the water, and it looks like now we're just waiting for the final few moments for the 29 of Jared Jensen to get his backup boat put back together and on the water. And due to the delay here, we're going to be a rolling start. All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the conclusion of the Formula One final here at the Battle on the San Jacinto.
From an early age, we race. It's part of who we are. It's in our DNA. For some, the need to keep pushing fuels our lives. At VP Racing, we pour everything we have into creating the industry's best products. For those who put it all on the line, whether it's the track or the trail or wherever you race, they say you can't win them all, but you can sure as hell try. VP Racing. Win every race.
JH Performance Boats. Custom-made, classic, shallow water boats built from scratch, offering a direct and personalized experience from start to finish. They provide exceptional service and support, having an unmatched reputation while paying close attention to detail with quality construction, expert knowledge, and outstanding performance. Mercury Racing. Proud to introduce the Apex platform of engines and the 250 APX competition outboard to Formula One Powerboat Championship Racing. This new 4.6-liter V8 model offers added torque and acceleration to take race teams to the next level. Let's welcome Mercury Racing 250 APX to the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Moto Marketing Group, accelerating brands for over 35 years. From developing some of the most famous boat and race team graphics that look fast to websites that run fast. Moto Marketing Group is your one-stop marketing shop for branding, vehicle wraps, websites, photography, and print design. They do it all professionally for a great price. Check them out online at motomarketinggroup.com.
Racing Communications. They're radios for racing.
Seaway Marine, the Formula Light sponsor here in 2025 on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, operates out of a 62,000 square foot warehouse that is packed with current OEM parts, aftermarket parts, and vintage hard-to-find parts. They ship over 100,000 packages all over the United States, providing same-day shipping on in-stock orders. Seaway staff is arguably the most knowledgeable in the industry. With decades of experience, Seaway prides itself in excellent customer service. Make Seaway Marine your first call or text for all your marine part needs. 425-412-4006 or online at seawaymarine.com. Seabold Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. Find more on the legendary Seabold family at seaboldsports.com. B&B Racing, one of the world's premier Formula Light powerboat racing teams and one of the most dominant forces on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series Formula Lights class. GT Environmental Finance is an experienced environmental market brokerage company specializing in transaction and advisory services in the field of sustainable development. Incubex, with a unique mission to develop and improve new and existing environmental commodities with their exchange and technology partners. These products include global, environmental, reinsurance, and weather-related commodities.
IVG Energy, an industry-leading brokerage specializing in liquid petroleum-based commodities, renewables, environmental products, and energy. From their headquarters in Houston, Texas, to and from locations around the world, they deliver quality results for their clients with forthright honesty, pioneering vision, and a get-the-job-done tenacity. Merix is a diversified global financial services platform providing essential liquidity market access. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get running here, I'm confirming my winner. What's your name, sir? Paul Peliquin. All right. 443-5544. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Pelican, $570 is all yours, sir. Congratulations. And all right, we are ready to rock and roll here. We've got our 2x2 rolling start here with 2 backup boats on the water now and 1 less driver in the 24 of Spencer Love. But how about we crown a champion, because we still got 17 minutes plus 1 lap to go here, Tim, and it's going to be a doozy. All right, the Baytown Boat Club, a great supporter here and the host of the 2025 Battle on the San Jacinto. There's Jet Ski Jared pulling off the 1 of Dustin Terry on the inside, the 17 of Dylan Anderson on the outside. Then it's the 8 of Mayo, the 13 of Schubert, the 98 of Benton, the 99 of Yates, then the 9 of Fleming, the 52 of Rinker, and the 29 of Jensen. Let's crown a champion here in Formula One at the Battle on the San Jacinto. He drops the flag and they're underway. It's a drag race to the first turn. Who's going to get there in time? Will it be the 1 of Dustin Terry or the 17 of Dylan Anderson? They get through the turn. Boy, a great run there by the 1 of Dustin Terry, as he seems like he has got it all working at a maximum on 100%, Tim. He has got that thing screaming fast with Turtle Box on the side.
Well, that's the advantage of the pole position. So he's on the inside. Dylan got a jump on him, and I think Dylan was actually a little quicker on the start, but he's in lane 2. So now he's got to do what he can to try and run him down.
Absolutely go down out of turn number 1. We say overhead there. There's the 1 of Dustin Terry coming out of turn 2. Now the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo is all over the 17 of Dylan Anderson. He's got to go through the wash. And then it's the 13 of Grant Schubert in 4th, the 98 of Aiden Menden in 5th. But here comes the 52 of Chris Rinker as he's continuing to push himself and try to gain ground on the rest of these leaders. But how about the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo? He is all over the 17 of Dylan Anderson, and he's giving it everything he got as they go down the front straightaway. As those 2 APX 4-strokes out in front, followed by the 2.5-liter V6 on the back of that Ray Bob Seasonings machine. The 8 of Mayo goes tight down into turn number 1 now. Dylan Anderson slides wide off of turn number 2. Now he goes down to the inside. I have a feeling we are going to have a big game of cat and mouse here between those top 2 drivers, Tim.
Well, you saw that Dylan had to go through Dustin's rooster tail. So when he did that, Jeremiah was allowed to go underneath then. It made room for him to go underneath, and that's how he caught up. But Dylan is going to pick his, he runs a little wide in 1. So he's trying to get to the outside. Dustin's trying to stay in lane 1 so he can protect the line, and that could play out good for Jeremiah.
Absolutely. It seems like, he likes to go wide and really turn that into like a 1-pin turn so he can stay tight to the buoy on the exit pin. Does the number 1 of Dustin Terry in that purple, gold, and black turtle box machine. It's going to be an interesting, the 17 of Dylan Anderson can try to figure out how to get around the man from Houma, Louisiana. And we see now there's the 52 of Chris Rinker. He's still sitting back there in 8th position, fighting hard, but trying to get around the 99 of Travis Yates. Has been a tall order for the man from Spring, Texas here at the final round of 2025. Again, he's in his backup boat. So is the 29 of Jared Jensen as the 52 of Rinker. Now we stay with him as he tries to gain ground on the 99 of Travis Yates down the back chute here on the San Jacinto River. This 17 minutes plus 1 lap. We got 13 minutes, 51 seconds remaining. I think the 52 of Chris Rinker at this point is probably just making sure, if nothing more, he can hang on to hopefully 2nd position and stay ahead of the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo in the season championship standings here in 2025.
Dylan lost a little bit of time to Dustin that last lap, about a half a second. So that happens when you can't run the line you want to. Dylan's having to go inside, outside, and switch his lines around. And then if Jeremiah in 3rd place gets too close to him with the number 8 boat, then he'll have to protect his line for a lap or 2 and then go back on the attack.
And Tim, when you were holding off hard chargers back in your racing career, was there did you try to make sure that they crossed your wake at least once per lap, because there's so much speed loss when you get into the wash of the boat in front of you?
Yes, definitely. So what drivers drive all different ways. You can see Dustin's trying to stay in lane 1 and just protect it, and Dylan now is picking up on him. So now he's got it back down to just over a second. But when you're in front, depends how far back the guy is to control the race. You may come out a little bit wider and just move within a lane or two, so the guy's got to crisscross over your wake.
And it looks like the 17 of Dylan Anderson has figured out that the 1 of Dustin Terry is going to stay in lane 1 and try to do those deep apex one-pin turns, because now instead of going tight on the exit and getting into the wash, he's staying the entire way out in lane 2 or 3 through the turns and making a big rounded sweeping turn, and it looks like it's working because he's down to less than a second between him and the number 1 of Dustin Terry.
Dustin, you got a little bit of a dog leg in this front straightaway. Dustin is going straight up lane 1, which it's not setting him up for the first turn good. Where Dylan is outside in lane 2 or 3, and that sets him up much.
On to that second place in the
He
series
wants to
championship.
do as good as he can do. Now you're starting to see the leaders come up on some of the back markers, so it'll be interesting what happens. In all honesty, Dustin doesn't even have to keep Dylan behind him.
No, he doesn't.
So if he's putting himself in a bad position, he needs to let Dylan go and just concentrate on the championship.
Absolutely, but now you see the 17 of Dylan Anderson. He's the one having to deal with that back marker. The 9 of Johnny Fleming is taking up that outside line that he was running, and that's exactly what the 1 of Dustin Terry, he's like, hey, Fleming, just stay out there in lane 3. Just give me lane 1. And, boy, it's really allowed him to grow that lead. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it be over a second after this lap as he started to stretch it out a little bit, because the 17 of Dylan Anderson can't find that clean water anymore.
Well, you can see what's happening. It is bringing Jeremiah in the number 8 boat back into the picture.
Because he's going into the pin, and Dustin's just far enough ahead of him where the wash seems to not be as bad as it is for the 17 of Dylan Anderson, who's out there running in the wash of the 9 of Johnny Fleming.
That's right. And, Dustin's trying to get around Johnny, which is making Dylan go on different lines, and then Jeremiah's the beneficiary of that.
Absolutely. As our leader, the 1 of Dustin Terry with turtle box on the side, goes down. Now Dylan Anderson's gone down tight to the inside. They've now swapped positions. He's now on an inside line. The question is, how long can he stay there and deal with the severe power loss that comes along with running through that whitewash of our leader, the 1 of Dustin Terry's? He's got it back to almost a second lead, and boy, look at him really pull away here now through that turn, because the 17 of Dylan Anderson was forced to go pin to pin and go through the wash. That's a double doozy that he didn't want to see.
He had to get off the gas too to stay in lane 1 down in turn 1. So that really hurt his exit speed, and that's when you saw Dustin pull away a little bit.
Absolutely. Dustin gaining over 0.3 of a second there on that lap alone here in this F1 final.
It's tightening up now.
He's making him go through the wake. It definitely looks like the 17 of Dylan Anderson has got maybe a bigger wheel on there, and he's got a little bit more top end, but the 1 of Dustin Terry's able to navigate that 4.6 liter V8 so tightly through the turns that he's able to negate that top end that Dylan grabs down the straightaway.
I'm sure that Dustin had a punch prop on there so he could go from pole and get to the first turn first.
Absolutely, because he knew if he could get out in front, right, a lot of times now you're in control and you can dictate a lot of the action on the race course, which he's been doing from the drop of the flag.
This is even bringing 4th place Grant Schubert into the mix.
Boy, that would be real interesting if you saw him get up with the 8 of Jeremiah O'Mayo, because now he's going to have to split his duties in watching what's going on in front of him, but also keep an eye on the 13 of Schubert behind him.
Jeremiah, number 8, going up the inside, trying to do everything he can. And for Dylan, in the number 2 spot, his 17 boat, he's got to get off the gas to turn it on lane 1 in the first turn, and that really hurts him. But he's got a run on Dustin right now.
Look at the damage on the front right left pickle fork on the number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. I don't know if that was from when he got together with the 52 of Chris Rinker, but he is pushing that thing to a limit. And that doesn't surprise you, though, that the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo's got a hanging pickle fork from driving the thing like he stole it out there on the San Jacinto.
That's right. That water pressure could have done that when he buried it in the corners.
As we continue to push, now a 2.5-second lead for the 1 of Dustin Terry. But look at down here at the far end of the course, the 17 of Dylan Anderson continues to gain ground on the straightaways, but he just can't seem to figure out the corners here on the San Jacinto River.
Those guys are all over each other. Right now you got a little over 3 seconds in the top 4.
And now we're under a second between the 17 of Dylan Anderson, so he got 0.6 of a second back there on that lap. No surprise, because they got past that one back marker, the 9 of Johnny Fleming, and it's opened up the water for a little less wash for the 17 of Dylan Anderson.
That's the good news. The bad news is they're coming up on more lap traffic.
And these ones are faster than the ones they already passed.
That's right. The longer this race goes, the faster the lap traffic is, the harder it is for you to get around them.
Absolutely. We see on board over the 17 of Dylan Anderson as he's pushing hard down there out of turn number 1, now coming off of 1, now through 2, running through the Rooster Tail in the wash of the number 1 of Dustin Terry, our leader from the jump. He started on pole, looking to go wire to wire. Can he pull it off with that turtle box monster on the side and be a back-to-back series champion here on the Formula One Series? Oh, look out there, Jeremiah Mayo. He gets it squirrely and almost hits the 17 of Dylan Anderson coming out of the turn, but he got it so tight there. Boy, the 17 of Anderson really started to pull away from him coming out of the corners. Doesn't look like the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo has much of an answer for these top 2 drivers.
Dylan is continuing to try and go up the inside of Dustin, and it's very hard because he can come in and close the door on corner entry. So you see it right there, and then he doesn't have the corner exit speed. He's getting close to him, but you're going to have to catch him sleeping or wait until they get up to Jensen's boat and see what he can make happen while they're trying to get around a back marker.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, looks like we had a malfunction with Dustin Terry and his transponder. He is not in 6th position. Those of you watching on our live stream, looks like that transponder might have rattled the wire loose, banging around here on the rough and tumble waters of the San Jacinto River, this brackish river just east of downtown Houston, here in beautiful Highlands, Texas, at the Baytown Boat Club as we wrap up our 2025 season. But he's continuing to push hard as the 1 of Dustin Terry continues to see a rear view mirror full of the 17 of Dylan Anderson. Anderson now goes wide to the outside. He's looking to try to make a move, trying to find a way to get around the man who won the 2024 season championship and is looking to do it here again. And the crazy thing is, Tim, this may be, if it comes to fruition for the 1 of Dustin Terry with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left, this could be his first race win on the season.
Yeah, it could. And right now he's sitting in good shape. Dylan is going back and forth trying to take different lines because you're never going to catch the guy if you're taking the same line as him.
Absolutely not.
He just, every time he gets close on the inside, that's a bad place because Dustin shuts the door and then you're starting all over. I think what he's got to do is slide out a little bit, get on his hip, and put some pressure on him.
Yeah, absolutely, because, that inside line as they squeeze down on the number 29 of Jared Jensen and his all-green backup Island Lake Marine machine. That lane 1 is pretty dirty, but it seems like the 17 of Dylan Anderson hasn't made that switch yet to move out to lane 3. Maybe you need to jump on the radio and let him know, hey, bud, move out to lane 3. You might have a little bit better of an opportunity to catch the man out in front, the 1 of Dustin Terry. But that's what makes these Formula One Powerboat Championship racing difficult, is you have to figure out how to perfectly navigate the back markers, or it's just not going to go out the way you want it to.
Look, we got enough time with about 3.5 minutes plus 1 lap left, so they're going to get up to Jared. So Dustin can't slow down that much, because if he does, he's going to get past. If he doesn't push forward, then he's going to have to deal with lap traffic and Dylan right on his hip.
Absolutely.
That's
see their battle.
Smart move right there.
He finally moved to the outside. Let's see if he can pull it off.
Dustin moved out a little bit, and Dylan is on his hip, so he had to move out even further.
But if he can keep that cornering speed up out there in lane 3, he might be able to slingshot his way around and drag race him out the front.
Dylan Anderson taking the long way around, but he's got a run on him coming down the front straightaway, and that's a little bit into the wind. Going into turn 1, it's going to be rough. Dustin holds the line, but Dylan has got the corner speed. And look at him pull on.
Oh, my God, here we go, side by side down the back straightaway. The 17 of Dylan Anderson on the outside. The 1 of Dustin Terry on the inside, but he's also going to deal with the back marker, the 29 of Jared Jensen. Ladies and gentlemen, with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go, we've got a new leader here in Formula One. The 17 of Dylan Anderson goes wide to the outside, just like you called it, Tim, and he walks the 1 of Dustin Terry down the front straightaway.
That was just beautiful. He finally got the opportunity needed. He stayed on his outside hip until the back marker presented itself, and then he was able to make a run on him because he had more corner speed coming out of 2 and going on the back straightaway. And you can be in lane 2 or 3 on the back straightaway, and it's just as good or better than being in lane 1 because it sets you up better for the third corner.
Now the 1 of Dustin Terry's got to watch out for his teammate, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, as he starts to close in. But, boy, that just goes to show you how much more speed it takes to overtake here in Formula One Powerboat racing. That took the majority of that race for the 17 of Dylan Anderson to finally make his way. But when he had that one move, he really pounced on it and gave it everything he had. And boy, that slingshot move out of turn number 4 was the bee's knees coming down the south end of the course.
You know, a lot of times it's figuring out what's working and what isn't. That's why your radio man's so important, because they're keeping times just like we are. And they're looking at the intervals. Look, that's working. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. That's not working. Take a different line. And that's, I'm sure, what Charlie and the crew did for Dylan there.
But I can imagine also Dustin Terry's crew's like, hey, listen, man, if it's tight in here, don't put yourself in a situation that you're going to regret, because if you go on your head and Rinker finishes at all, you're going to give up that championship. So make sure you got the championship eyes in your prize, not just the race win.
Well, Dustin doesn't want to put himself in a bad position.
No, he doesn't. Under a minute to go here, plus
There's
one lap.
No need to.
No, there is not. Absolutely. Dylan Anderson, I got to commend him. The man did almost everything he could outside of winning qualifying heat number 3 this morning. And there's the white flag for the 17 of Dylan Anderson. If it weren't for that one tiny little thing at the beginning of the season, he would be calling himself the series champion. But it's got to be a great way to finish off the season with 3 wins in the final 4 rounds.
That's right. They're going to be happy and drove a great race today. They all did. Dustin, once again, this is why he's back-to-back champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, taking the battle on the San Jacinto and wrapping up the 2025 season out of Nashville, Tennessee. Running for Anderson Marine, low-car performance, number 17, Dylan Anderson. And with his second place finish here at the final round of 2025, without a win on the books, the consistency is key. Your second place finish here at the Battle on the San Jacinto and your 2025 Formula One Series champion here in the Formula One class, none other than the 01 of Dustin Terry. And rounding out the top 3, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. No surprise, the cream rises to the top. I wouldn't be surprised if we wouldn't have had that accident with the 52 of Rinker. Those 4 probably would have finished 1, 2, 3, 4. Who knows what the order would have looked like, but I commend the 52 of Chris Rinker for calming himself down, getting in the backup boat. He collected points and may have just collected enough points to hang on to that second place finish in the season championship, which is still a pretty darn good way to wrap up his 2025 season, and I believe potentially his best series finish to date.
Great finish by Chris Rinker. You know, it's tough to jump in a backup boat and run with the series 1, 2, 3, 4.
Absolutely.
Okay, and look, Dylan ran a great race. Dustin ran a smart race, and that's how you win championships right there. Dustin showed what it takes to win back-to-back championships, and he didn't win a race. So I know that feeling, and he'll get them all a little wet, and they'll love that.
Hey, douses down his competitor, and that's the great thing about the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Once the helmet comes off, once the race is over, these guys are friends again. Nobody's happier for the 17 of Dylan Anderson than the one of Dustin Terry. It also makes it really easy to be happy for him when you just secured the season championship as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So it's good for everybody, and it's going to be a good night. We've got the banquet, the year-end banquet tonight. So
absolutely, Captain Mark's providing all the food. It's going to be so good. Again, for those of you, don't go anywhere. One more raffle to give away later on tonight after the conclusion of the award ceremony. But we've got our award ceremony immediately following the conclusion of our Formula One final here. So right now he's grabbed that checkered flag and he's going to make his way through the race course, and we jump on board with our drone from our fantastic media partners at Live Race Media. He's going to make his way through the north end of the course, down the back straightaway, and what a fantastic run it was. He was on a mission from the word go here at the Battle on the San Jacinto. He pushed hard all weekend long. And again, like we said, if it wasn't for just the tiniest little of a bobble in the opening round that caused a disqualification, this man would have been your series champion. But still, a fantastic way to finish the season here with 3 wins in the final 4 rounds. He did everything he could. Ladies and gentlemen, hear you one more time. Your winner here at the Battle on the San Jacinto, the number 17, Mr. Dylan Anderson.
So the podium is right over by the pavilion. And stop by, make sure you hang out, and go see Debbie over at the merchandise tent. We're going to have a big celebration with all of our podium finishers. So hopefully the fans can stick around, meet the drivers, meet your favorite driver, get some autographs, and come celebrate with us.
Absolutely. What a fantastic run it was here so far, Tim. And what a great last couple of the races this season here. Boy, I've really enjoyed myself. I told you after the last round, and I'll tell you again, I would have never thought that having you as my announcing partner here would have been so much like the phrase riding a bike. It just felt so comfortable. The knowledge that I know you have that you can provide to this broadcast is so crucial, and I appreciate it a ton. And what a fantastic run it was here in 2025.
Well, I appreciate that. And I also want to say thank you to all our fans on site, at home, all around the world. You guys are fantastic, and we appreciate your support. And we can't wait to do it bigger and better for 2026.
Absolutely, and there's lots of things cooking, and I know you told us earlier this weekend that the schedule will be out soon, and that's a new thing for us. Being able to dial in the schedule as early into the off season as possible is always super, super important, and I'm really excited for what 2026 is going to look like as well. All right, looks like the 17 of Dylan Anderson, he's hopping out there, giving his dad a big hug. He's got to be super excited. That's 3 wins in the final 4 races. And you better watch out 2026, because I guarantee you the man from Nashville, Tennessee, is going to be coming for you in the hardest way possible. There's the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. He, I believe, secured top 4 finish in the series championship. Finished third here on the Battle on the San Jacinto, so he brings more hardware back. Boy, those outlaw F1 guys talk about consistency. That is for sure, as we are just a moments away here from sending things down to our pit reporter, Kay Myers, as she's with our winner. Boy, what a run it was. Look at there. That's the family of Dustin Terry. He pulled the boat up on the beach. He didn't even care. The season's over. They can fix it. God, they got to be happy. Another championship coming down to Houma, Louisiana. It looks like he's got his son in tow. I'm going to send things down to our pit reporter, Kay Myers, as she's with the 2025 Formula One winner here at the Battle on the San Jacinto. Take it away, Kay.
When it comes to F1 powerboat racing, that final heat is always an endurance run, and you made this an extreme endurance run trying to get around Dustin Terry, and it took you to the end. Back traffic was your key partner in this game.
Yeah, Dustin was plenty fast to hold me off the whole race. All he had to do was make a mistake or not do just the perfect thing through traffic, and it felt like 5 years I sat back there waiting for that to happen, but finally it happened, got around him. Good race, awesome driving out of everybody on that field. Got to really thank all my sponsors and all that stuff. XS Power Batteries keeping us powered up, Anderson Marine getting us here. Elite Direct Finance, making us afford to be able to get here. Jim's Motorcycle Sales, Low Car Performance, C2 Machine, and I really got to thank all the local sponsors who helped put on this event. Bunch of big oil money, guys, so maybe they'll like us and keep coming.
You were almost in tears when you got out of that boat. You were so excited. Tell me what was going through your mind as you crossed that finish line and looked over to see that checkered flag.
I'd been yelling since I made the pass. I don't know what was going through my head. I was just really excited, glad to finish the year off with another win and put quite a few of them on the shelf this year.
Well, you put yourself on the top of the shelf with the top podium. This is going to be your champion here at Highlands, Texas. Checkered flag goes to Dylan Anderson and the number 17, Anderson Marine.
What a fantastic and deserved win for the man from Nashville, Tennessee. What a great run in that Blue Rocket. And he's looking to dial it in for 2026. And what a great way to finish the season on a high note for the number 17 of Dylan Anderson. But he's not the only one that's super happy. As, ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 series champion in Formula One, the man from Houma, Louisiana. He's putting the shades on, and he is cool, calm, and collected, as cool as the other side of the pillow. The man from Houma is going to go back-to-back here in 2025, something we haven't seen in a while, and a fantastic run for that young driver and his family, making it all the way here from Houma to see him secure his second title in 2 seasons. We're going to send it down to Kay as she's with our series champion, the number 1 of Dustin Terry.
All right, that was one heck of a run. We just got done talking to Anderson. You guys gave each other a high five, and you're getting a big hug from a young lady here who is so excited. But I know you've got a big fan base at home at your restaurant at the Bunker. What do you got to say to them?
Oh, man, this is fantastic. Thank you to everybody there. It's been a crazy year. I can't believe I did it. I didn't expect this at all. I haven't put in nearly the work. I owe everything to my team. Team Outlaw took care of everything, getting boats here while I've been busy. Thank you to Michael. Boat repairs, everything. They did everything for me. All I did was get in and drive. I'm the luckiest dude on the planet. So to go back-to-back, man, never would have thought. I'm extremely, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words. Yeah.
Dustin out of a loss for words because, you've done this numerous times. But tell us about this year, 2025. It was your year. You say you didn't work so hard, but you did. Weekend after weekend, you got in the cockpit and you brought that checkered flag back to your team.
Well, it's so much more than that, right? It's a ton of things back at home and everything else. There's so many people who have helped me to do this, and I get all the accolades for it. It's really not fair, but I felt like I put it on the line today, and I hung in there as long as I could. And whenever Dylan put it right on my hip, he put the pressure on me. I got the message, and I said, look, it would be silly for me to crash right now. And that's what it would have taken for us to get through that turn with 4 of us going in there. I know that was an awesome race. I can't wait to get home and watch it. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And, late race passes and us with Jeremiah all piled in there together. It just goes to show what a great promotion this series puts together with drivers and the engine packages and everything like that. We have the best sport on the planet, and we have the best competition on the planet, the best teams, the F1 Powerboat, everybody. Thank you guys so much for making something worth winning.
Well, congratulations one more time. Your 2025 Formula One Powerboat champion, High Point Series winner, Dustin Terry.
We're going to hold on to that number 1 for another year.
Oh, game on. What do you think of that, Thomas?
Thanks, Kay. What a fantastic run it was for the 01 of Dustin Terry. He doesn't win a race all season long, and yet the consistency is the key. He was always near the top in every race, pushing it hard outside of Marble Falls, and he was able to secure a championship. Let's take a look at our final results here in the Formula One class here at the 2025 Battle on the San Jacinto. With a fantastic move, slingshotting out of turn number 4 on the final few minutes of this 17 minutes plus 1 lap final. The 17 of Dylan Anderson was able to get by the number 1 of Dustin Terry. I apologize. Terry's transponder failed him a little bit there, but the 17 of Dylan Anderson followed by the number 1 of Dustin Terry. He didn't need to win the race. All he needed to do was make sure he finished ahead of the 52 of Chris Rinker as he locks in that second place finish. In third, it's the number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, followed in 4th place by the number 13 of Grant Schubert. Right behind him in a solid 5th place finish for the number 99 of Travis Yates. Then it's the 9 of Johnny Fleming, the 98 of Aiden Benton, the 52 of Chris Rinker. And rounding out the field here, the 29 of Jared Jensen with the 24 of Spencer Love, a DNS here at the final round of 2025. What a great run it was here in 2025. We had some of the tightest competition the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series has ever seen here in our 8-year existence here in the United States, running hard. And there's teammates chatting about what happened out there on the race course. What a fantastic weekend it was to wrap up the season. And we've got one more thing left to do, and that's to give out some well-earned hardware here on the shores of the San Jacinto, right here at the beautiful Baytown Boat Club. So don't go anywhere and make your way down to the award ceremony right outside the Blue Pavilion, right behind the viewing area where all our fans are. And we're going to give away some well-deserved trophies for all 3 classes here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. We'll be right back with the awards here at the final round of 2025.
From an early age, we race. It's part of who we are. It's in our DNA. For some, the need to keep pushing fuels our lives. At VP Racing, we pour everything we have into creating the industry's best products. For those who put it all on the line, whether it's the track or the trail or wherever you race, they say you can't win them all, but you can sure as hell try. VP Racing. Win every race.
JH Performance Boats. Custom-made, classic, shallow water boats built from scratch, offering a direct and personalized experience from start to finish. They provide exceptional service and support, having an unmatched reputation while paying close attention to detail with quality construction, expert knowledge, and outstanding performance. Moto Marketing Group, accelerating brands for over 35 years. From developing some of the most famous boat and race team graphics that look fast to websites that run fast. Moto Marketing Group is your one-stop marketing shop for branding, vehicle wraps, websites, photography, and print design. They do it all professionally for a great price. Check them out online at motomarketinggroup.com.
Racing Communications. They're radios for racing.
Seaway Marine, the Formula Light sponsor here in 2025.
Attention race fans in the pits. I need a white Dodge Ram moved from the award ceremony area. Attention in the pits. I need a white Dodge Ram removed from the award ceremony immediately. Please remove your white Dodge Ram from the award ceremony. Thank you very much.
United States. Providing same-day shipping on in-stock orders, Seaway staff is arguably the most knowledgeable in the industry. With decades of experience, Seaway prides itself in excellent customer service. Make Seaway Marine your first call or text for all your marine part needs. 425-412-4006 or online at seawaymarine.com. Seabold Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. Find more on the legendary Seabold family at seaboldsports.com.
B&B Racing, one of the world's premier Formula Light powerboat racing teams and one of the most dominant forces on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series Formula Lights class. GT Environmental Finance is an experienced environmental market brokerage company specializing in transaction and advisory services in the field of sustainable development. Incubex, with a unique mission to develop and improve new and existing environmental commodities with their exchange and technology partners. These products include global, environmental, reinsurance, and weather-related commodities. IVG Energy, an industry-leading brokerage specializing in liquid petroleum-based commodities, renewables, environmental products, and energy. From their headquarters in Houston, Texas, to and from locations around the world, they deliver quality results for their clients with forthright honesty, pioneering vision, and a get-the-job-done tenacity.
Merix is a diversified global financial services platform providing essential liquidity market access and infrastructure services to clients in the energy, commodities, and financial markets. With more than 40 offices across all major exchanges and technology-powered data and advisory services, Merix is your essential partner. TP ICAP Group is a world-leading liquidity and data solutions specialist. They connect clients to liquidity seamlessly and responsibly across financial and commodity markets globally. Through a full range of brokering protocols, they also provide clients with the data and analytics they need to do business better.